That should be it. Right, sweet. Right, welcome back to another YouTube video. We're going to talk about how I made 1.2k trading in the nasdaq today. Let me close my door. Sorry, I don't wake up the parents. Right, so today I'll go over the first trade I took, which was during the start of Asia session at like 1 o'clock in the morning last night. Well, technically this morning. So coming into this trade, we literally just opened Asia on this candlestick here, I'm sure. Yeah, literally these last two candles. So we opened up Asia at 1 o'clock in the morning, right? And we'd had this buy side liquidity here, and we had this buy side liquidity here. I'm sure on Asia we had equal highs as well, which was another strong draw for me. So we had equal highs with this buy side level here, which was very, very interesting. We'd come down and we had tapped this 5 minute for VI gap, got a reaction off it, no inversion. We ended up looking at this high, and then we ended up just accumulating here on the lower time frame. So this is just a big fat accumulation here. We just started accumulating, and then we ended up manipulating out of this accumulation zone and coming down, resweeping this low, and then this leg here ended up being, or this low here ended up being the start of the new 50-minute candle, which we ended up wicking into, resweeping that original 5 minute swing low, making a manipulation outside of that accumulation here. We had really nice LR towards TP1, and then obviously equal highs on ES, which is really nice, and then TP2 being this hourly buy side liquidity. Super, super nice draw. Overall bullish due to the SMT respecting this 4-hour overall bullish PD arrays. We have previous day high here as well, which was a pretty nice draw. So I was really just looking for a trade off of this 50 minutes, some sort of continuation towards these PD arrays. So I waited and I ended up seeing this 5 minute form, and I wanted to wait to see if there was a 2 minute. There was no 2 minute. Yep, there was no 2 minute. We actually did have this wee 2 minute up here, but I ended up just making that my break even. Well, I was going to, but we ended up taking out this internal high up on the inversion. So you'll see that here. Boom, right? So, oh wait, no, what was it? Boom. So we took out this internal high upon this inversion here. But the reason I still took this is because we formed this 1 minute for VI gap here. And my thought process is, if we respect this 1 minute, and technically also respect this order block here, I'd be willing to take this trade towards these external draws, because the overall draw is still there. Now, see, there is sometimes, especially because Asia session is just opened, there's going to be a lot of volatility within the market, and we displaced through this with quite a good bit of volatility. Now, I want more conf before entering this, because I wouldn't just enter this here because we took this internal high. This would have been my original break-even point. But because we have this basically a wee unicorn, that's pretty much what it is, just this wee unicorn here, I wanted to see price come down, respect this, and then I'd maybe get a trade off of it. So we ended up coming down, and we ended up respecting, literally just respecting that 1 minute. Also tapping the unicorn as well. So what I ended up doing is I ended up entering here upon just after the close of this candle, and I just put my stop at this wick, because if you go on the 5 minute, we respected the CE of this down close candle prior, and we never closed below that 0.75. So I was quite chilling, to be fair, with taking this. I didn't feel any. It was a wee bit risky, to be fair, but I had pretty good conviction with the trade, and I did like it overall. So I was like, you know what, I'm actually going to take this. I'm going to try it. I ended up risking about 250. I think it was a bit more than 250. Nah, I don't actually remember how much I risked. I can't even lie. But I ended up risking however much. I made like 500 off the trade. It's a 2 hour, I think. It's a 1 to 3, so I risked just maybe 3. No, how much did I make off that trade? It was 6. No, it was 1 point. It was one. It was a K, I think. It was just over a K. I actually made on this trade. I risked 350, and I made just over a K. So because we had respected this 1 minute though, I ended up entering this trade and then put my break even at this new internal high. Just because there's no clear draws. I mean, you could put it here, but there's no point. I may as well put it here. If we're really going to be bullish and we're going to truly stick with that bullish bias, I don't expect price to come down after respecting these confluences. So I had my B here, entered literally basically right on the respected fair value gap, and then we ended up just running full TP. Literally such a gorgeous trade, like so fucking gorgeous. So that's the first trade I took during like 1 o'clock in the morning. And then if we go on to the next trade, which was PM session, I did lose a trade before this. Right, I had to cut that bit. I'm back. Right, anyway, this trade, I made a decent bit on it. I was up 1K on my XFA total, and then I ended up losing. I took a standard deviation trade pre-market with one of my mates. Off his signal. I ended up losing $200 off that. So I was down like. No, I took 2 trades actually off standard deviation, but I'm not gonna show you because I can't leak his shit. But yeah, I ended up losing 300 after that. So that put me up. Nah, I can't have made 1.2 on this trade. I think I made. No, yeah, because I took a partial of this TP. The total TP was 1.2, but I think I only made 800. And then I lost 300. And that put me to 500. Yeah, this is about right. Yeah. And yeah, I lost a couple of trades here. And then I came in and we were getting close to this draw here. So after this, so coming into like pre-market, pre-AM session, right? Overall, I was quite bullish because we had this bullish SMT, this pretty strong bullish SMT with this weekly low. We came up and we took out previous day high while tapping into the daily fair value gap, which is also within equilibrium of the range. I do need to speak a bit quieter though, because I think these are here. My parents are sleeping. So it was within EQ, the range here. Yeah, somewhat accurate. So within EQ the range, OTE the range, like within this box here, pretty much. I marked it the CE of the daily fair value gap. We came into we respect. Did we make equalize? That's strange. We respected the daily fair value gap after sweeping Asia high, and we had a big sell off. And this sell off made us inverse this 1 hour structure here, which made me overall bearish after this market structure shift, CISD pretty much, order block breaker, whatever. We respected the breaker and then continued lower. So my draw was overall bearish until this forward internal low got hit, which you can see here. It's the low with resting within that forward fair value gap, and it's a forward low. So that forward intermediate low. So I wanted to see a trade towards this pre-market now, because, or was it? Nah, I'm sure it was this. Yeah. So we ended up having this 1 hour up here, this buy side level, and this buy side level. Now, I wanted to see this get hit before these got targeted, because if we are truly bearish and if we want to flip bullish, we need to finish this market maker sell model to do so. So I want to see this market maker sell model get finished before I end up trying to take a trade back up the way. And the next draw would be this 4 hour internal low. So I was looking on the 15 and 5 minute. We never ended up getting a 50-minute fair value gap. So I was really looking for whatever fair value gap to get respected. So we had this 5 minute here, which we ended up respecting quite nicely. My pal took a standard deviation long off this as well, but he ended up closing at the 5 minute or something. It was pretty good profits, to be fair, for him. He actually bagged heavy on this. It was like a good. He entered like literally down here. Yeah, 50-point move. It was ridiculous. 10-point stops, like a 5-6 RR he got. But yeah, we ended up respecting the 5 minute. And then this draw at this point, it was like not that many points away. 90 points away from here, 50 points away, right? It wasn't that big of a trade. So I wanted to see this 5 minute get respected, and then I wanted to see price come lower. And if we inversed any for value gaps, I would take a trade. So we ended up forming this 3 minute here. Now this is my condition, right? Since we're respecting this 5 minute, if we inverse this 3 minute, I can really expect price to come towards this 4-hour intermediate low to finish that market maker sell model. So we ended up inversing it. I ended up waiting for a retap of the CE of the 3 minute inversion, which we got. I put my stop loss at the new swing prior to the inversion, because if we are truly bearish, price isn't going to want to come past this. So there's no point me like put my stop loss here when I can put it in the next swing. I could even put it here for a really high RR, but I just wanted to be safe, so I put it at a swing high. And then I don't know if there's an S&T with this actual. No, there wasn't. So I put it at a swing high, and then I targeted this internal structure here as my break even, and then I targeted the 4 internal low as my full take profit, which ended up getting SMT'd. I closed round about like, there's one right there, and then I ended up hitting full TP, and then this was like an hour before AM session opened. Yeah, it was actually on. Oh no, this candle was news, but news didn't really do anything anyway. So yeah, and then I'll talk about the trade coming in. I'll show you the P&L. Is it P&L 1143.34 on the day? Pretty fucking snazzy dazzy, up 1.659 on the XFA so far, which is slamming. But yeah, because I took these 2 trades and I made so much on the day, I didn't wanna risk like losing that, so I ended up just calling it a day, and I ended up just not bothering to trade AM session, which was a smart decision. Save my capital, but I'm gonna talk about the trades that I potentially would have took during AM session. So we'll go just before market open, which is right there. This one. Yeah, so this is market open here. So when 9:30 opened, we got, well, just before, I'll go on the 5 minute, it'll be better. So when 9:30 opened, we got an open low. So we opened lower, tapping into this 30-minute unicorn, which is just a breaker block and a fair value gap. So you got this 30-minute breaker block here, and then you got the fair value gap in line, making the unicorn. So we tapped the 30-minute unicorn after sweeping the 4-hour intermediate low. No SMT, unfortunately. But we still have London High intact. Now, I don't expect price to go all the way up to London High, considering it's sponsored. So London High came up into the daily for value gap, swept out previous day high, and then we dumped off of that. I'm not expecting price to go higher than this. I'm expecting price to maybe rebalance, maybe to OTE this range, which it did perfectly. Now, OTE this range perfectly aligned, perfectly aligned with this 1 hour for value gap. Now, coming in and scaling down, we have this 15-minute for value gap here. Actually, that is a 15-minute. And then we have this 1 hour here, and this 1 hour up here. Let's call it 1 hour as well. So I wanted to see price come up and basically just take out at least this 1 hour, because it's in line with the OT. Well, I would have. I didn't actually trade this, but this is what I would have wanted to happen. And now price came down, and we got an inversion on the 3 minute, which is the highest time for inversion in the current trading leg. Now, I would have normally not entered this because we took out the internal high after inversing, but we have this 50-minute internal high, which we can now create as our next internal structure. So if we are bullish, or if we are bearish, we should take out this and then go lower if we want to continue bearish. But just because of the way, like the displacement of this candle, this is a very displaced candle. So I really do expect price to continue and push through this, which it really should do if we are bullish and we do want to go higher, which we did. So my break even would have been this internal high. I'm sure Paddy from RM.Trading-nq took this trade. I don't know if it was exactly like this, but this is what I would have took anyway. I mean, you could have waited for a pullback, but that was just not going to happen. No chance. So I just entered on the close, break even at internal high, and then just target that unfilled 50-minute or that unfilled 1 hour. You could probably get away with targeting the unfilled 1 hour. 2RR, pretty decent to be fair. I wouldn't say you'd have to cover the low. You could probably like cover just under. To be fair, you could probably cover just under the fair value gap because there's this breaker block here. So this whole thing here I'd consider a breaker block. So you've got the fair value gap inversion and then you got the breaker block. So you could just cover underneath the breaker block, giving you a lot better RR, which would have been a really good trade. You could even take it to the 50-minute and you still have like a 2.5. But I'm sure this played it pretty well. Yeah, pretty fucking nice. Yeah, this is just personally what I probably would have took. But like, knowing me in market, I don't know if I would probably cover the breaker. I'd probably just cover the low just to be extra safe. And then again, I would probably enter this actually just due to the like displacement, like the way we're displacing through this, and due to this high being so close, it's the chances of us hitting this high are pretty high, a good probability of us hitting this high. So even if we do pull back, we should come up, hit, break even, and then run, which would be really good. And I'm sure there was another trade. So we have this hourly. Let me get rid of all this shit. We have this hourly, and then let's see what we do. So 10 a.m. opens lower. We actually probably could have backed the trade out of this move right here. Definitely could have. Let me go on the 1 hour. So we tap that 1 hour high there. Let's see if we tap that shit on ES. So that would be this here. So got this 1 hour high here. And we SMT that high, which is very good for a short comp. Because we've tapped OTE within the... Well, we've tapped OTE of this 1 hour /4 hour range here. London high sponsored, so that's probably going to be high of the day. We've respected a 1 hour within OTE of the range. Created an SMT. Came on the 15-minute. This is a very nice. This is looking pretty fucking saucy. Created an SMT. Bearish SMT. Filled a 1 hour for value gap. Also taking out buy side liquidity. We've got an unfilled 50-minute for value gap here, which is absolutely gorgeous. If I have an unfilled 5-minute, I have an unfilled 5-minute here. And to be fair, fuck off. ES doesn't have to be perfect. All we know is we've got an SMT, right? And then we're looking for the highest time frame version of the current trading leg. So we've got this 5-minute here. Let's see. So we have this new leg here, so we reswipe that high, so that. With that. Now, I don't take 30-second inversions, so I'm not even going to look. I don't like taking 30-second inversions. See, we've got 2-minute. Nope. 3-minute. Nope. 4-minute. Nope. So 5-minute. So for this 5-minute is the highest time frame inversion of the current trading leg, so we'd wait for this 5-minute inversion. And then we target the 15-minute. You could probably, because this is a 5-minute low, I'd probably just target that for full TP. We obviously haven't inversed it yet, so have to wait and see if we inverse it well. Right. Well, if you did a pre-inversion entry, then you could have bagged, but yeah, probably wouldn't have been able to take that just because it failed to inverse the 5 minute, which is unfortunate, very, very unfortunate. Unless you wanted to take the 3 minute, I suppose, this wee tiny, tiny 3 minute, enter there, break even, and then let it run. But I wouldn't. This would have been a very, very good trade idea if the inversion, like, see if we actually inversed on this candle, and then you got a nice entry there. Oh shit, that's a long position. A nice entry there, cover the wick, and then easy 1 to 3. If you don't have a stop loss, you can edge it to this 5 minute here, because it's a discounted 5 minute. Why would you not go to the discounted 5 minute? Well, because it's a 15 minute, but you get what I mean. But yeah, that would have been a nice trade if it inversed a little bit better, but it never. So that's unfortunate. Could maybe get a pullback for a short. We actually SMT'd this, I think. Yeah, so we SMT'd this 15 minute here. Or 5 minutes, sorry. We don't have a 15 minute, but we're respecting this 15 minute fairly well. So I'd need some sort of entry, good entry comp. You could take that 2 minute, but because we're respecting that 15 minute quite well, and we took the internal low, I wouldn't take this one. Like, see with this one, it's a bit different because we're not inside of a higher time frame for value gap. This one we are, so I wouldn't take that. And it does move, but it consolidates. I would have got stopped out because my stop loss would have been up here. It's just not the most ideal trade. So I'd say probably the best trades and the trades of the day were probably this 3 minute inversion here with this long, covering that or covering the order block and then going for the 1 hour. This would have been your most ideal setup, 110%. 177 point move, 44 point stop loss. I'm just lucky that I got my money and dipped, which was ideal. But yeah, I mean, that's all there really is to talk about upon this, so I suppose I'll just leave it at that. I need to go edit this video, so that's that. Right, in a bit. Enjoy, guys. Enjoy.